As you'll see in the section Help Yourself to Mental Health, there are things you can do to help change how you feel. But what I want to talk about is how you can change how you feel by changing how you think. One of the most effective treatments for depression is cognitive behavioural therapy, or CBT. This is a way of understanding how thoughts can affect our feelings. What do we mean by thoughts? Thoughts are the things we tell ourselves. Sometimes thoughts come in words, and sometimes they come in pictures in our imagination. Sometimes they come and go so quickly that we don't even notice them. Feelings are different. We experience feelings in our body. We might feel angry or sad or anxious. Feelings are real and important. We need to notice when we're feeling down so that we can look after ourselves and do something to help us feel better. Let's see how thoughts and feelings are linked. Suppose I see my neighbour and she doesn't say hello.
Hi.
All sorts of thoughts might go through my mind. I might think she doesn't like me, or maybe I'm not worth saying hello to. And those thoughts might leave me feeling hurt. But what if I'd had a different thought? What if my thought had been, she must be busy? Then I would have felt differently. I wouldn't have felt hurt. Although it can take a bit of practice, noticing our thoughts is really important. We can then go on to test out whether a thought is true and helpful. Suppose you get home and you realise you've forgotten to buy something important from the shopping list. You think, I forgot to get the milk. I'm so stupid. The thought, I forgot to get the milk, is a fact. Listening to that thought means you can go out and buy some. I'm so stupid is unlikely to be a fact. The truthful alternative is probably that you forget things just like anybody else. And maybe there were things on your mind. Finding alternative thoughts that can express more truthfully what has happened can help you make changes to your feelings. Feelings are real. Anger, guilt, sadness are always real experiences. When painful things happen, it's normal to feel those feelings. But no matter what we've gone through, it can still be helpful to weed out hurtful thoughts that aren't true. In the next section, you'll see how two people are learning to overcome their depression. They're learning to take hold of their unhelpful thoughts and test them, either by doing something new or finding new ways of thinking. Ant can be very self-critical. He finds it difficult to see how likeable he is. He's just come back from a party. His head is full of negative thoughts about the evening. But during his therapy sessions, he found some questions that encouraged him to see things in a more helpful way. One tool he found useful was to imagine asking a close friend what he would say. When the party had left him with thoughts about being a social failure, he decided to try this.
All right then, Ray, what would you say? You'd probably say, it's true, I'm not the life and soul of the party, but hey, I am a good friend. Yeah.
Having spilt his drink, he was remembering the laughter and assuming it was all directed at him.
But what about tonight? I mean, how sad was that? I mean, what a loser. You're going to tell me, hey, maybe I'm not taking in the bigger picture.
Having taken in more of the picture, he remembered that people had been laughing all night, and people laugh at parties.
I mean, okay, maybe it wasn't such a complete disaster, but it felt like it. You're going to say I should think about the better things that happened tonight. The better things.
Ant found it useful to ask himself what his close friend Ray would say about him. He'd then imagine Ray asking some other questions. Am I taking in the whole picture? And am I forgetting some of the better things? He chose these questions because they gave him a broader view of the situation. Once he had come to the end of his imaginary chat with Ray, he did feel less down and was more accepting of how he'd been at the party. He was able to see that there were a few awkward moments, but it wasn't a complete disaster. And actually, he'd quite enjoyed parts of the evening. Dinah lives alone and works in an office, keeping herself to herself. She doesn't have the confidence that she's likeable, so she avoids taking steps to build friendships. Dinah says that she would like to have more friends. She begins to imagine taking steps to get to know people, but what comes to mind is the thought, they'll try to avoid me. This thought often gets in the way of her phoning friends and inviting them to meet up. During a recent therapy session, she agreed that she could test out an alternative possibility. What if she thought that some people might be interested in getting to know her? How would she know that this was so? She decided that if a friend would accept an invitation to meet up or chat over the phone, this would go a little way to convincing her. So, to make a start, she chose 2 friends she'd begun to get to know a little and decided to give them a ring. During the therapy session, Dinah was positive about taking some risks to build friendships. Now she's sitting by the phone, it doesn't seem so easy. Her head is full of negative thoughts about what will happen.
Hello.
Oh, hi, Lucy. It's Dinah here.
Oh, hello, Dinah. Yeah, look, I really can't talk right now. I've got to go.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, bye.
When she does make the call, it isn't the disaster she expects, but her friend is busy.
Oh, hello, Dinah.
I was just phoning up for a bit of a chat.
Yeah, look, I'm just about to have lunch now. Do you mind if I call you back later?
No, that's fine. Okay, well, if you give me a ring after lunch, then...
All right. Good to hear from you. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
At first, Dinah feels disappointed after she's put so much effort into making the call. Her friend does call back. This gives Dinah the courage to make a second call, although she still feels apprehensive. But the outcome is quite positive.
Hello? Hello, Dinah? Yeah, I'm fine. How are you?
I was just wondering if you fancied going out for a drink sometime soon.
Oh, I'd love to. The thing is, I haven't got my diary on me right now, but I am meeting up with Mark and Sue on Friday night for a drink. Would you like to come too?
Dinah really believed that people would try to avoid her, but she was able to have both a chat and arrange a time for meeting up. Of course, 2 phone calls aren't going to change the view of herself that's built up over years.
All right,
But
then,
she's
bye.
a little more confident about taking similar risks in the future, and she's a little more prepared to consider the idea that people might actually want to get to know her. These examples show 2 ways of testing the thoughts that may be getting you down. Ant asked himself certain questions to help give him a broader perspective, and Dinah tested her negative predictions by doing something she normally avoided. We all have negative thoughts, but we can learn to change them. You may like to develop your own ways of testing your thoughts. Try to develop a curiosity about them. A useful question to ask yourself when you're feeling down or upset is, what was going through my mind just as I started to feel like this? Once you've noticed the thoughts, you might feel able to write them down. You could ask yourself, if a friend of mine knew I was thinking these things, what would she say? Am I taking in the whole picture? Might there be an alternative perspective? This has been only a brief taste of what CBT can offer. Getting into the habit of standing back from your thoughts and questioning them will take practice and courage. You don't need to be seeing a therapist to be making use of these ideas, but you might find it helpful to look at some of the books and websites that are listed on this DVD.
Well done. You've made another really positive step by watching this DVD. There's been a lot of information. No one can completely take it all in. Watch it as many times as you need, or go back to a particular section you feel will be most helpful. Do this as many times as you wish. Use the information booklet that accompanies this DVD. It has details of organisations in your local area that we're sure will be helpful. When you do feel you've taken it all in, please return it to your local pharmacy to give others the same information. Finally, remember you're not alone. Your doctor, pharmacist, family and friends are there to help you.